I made it! And he made it. He came running across the room.
Yep. Sorry, I was on the toilet, guys.
And we're back!
We are.
We're back with the OCS tiebreakers. Losers bracket.
The bracky.
The bracky. The losers bracky. GRVA versus Bommy.
GRVA versus Bommy. Mental boomers.
Is that what we're doing?
That's what I used to call them. The bombers.
Why?
Well, no, bombers, and it was boomers.
Yeah, it was just a
progression.
Yeah, okay.
It's got nothing to do with our mental. I don't even know them that well. In any case, Gravitas they've got a mental boomer, Big Juventus.
Sure.
The support position.
Yeah, he had a very good start to their game.
I have Rival written here, but Rival's not playing, right?
No,
Guapi.
Rival is not playing.
Yeah.
Guapi is 100% playing.
Yeah.
That'd be a big mistake in the old spreadsheeto. But yeah.
Spreadsheety.
Juves had a very good start to game number 1.
Yeah, he did actually. He didn't play that bad.
Yep.
I should be fair to him.
And then tried off a little bit. Gravitas kind of got a little bit too aggressive, I guess. And there was that weird like lane swap sort of scenario where it was like the Camille went mid to answer the mid lane matchup, and then
I think that
fell
is
too far behind.
Also the hardest part of support. Of being an off-roll support. Like the laning for being an off-roll support ultimately is just like, you don't have to CS, but it's just like trading patterns, and you can sort of pick that up. Most people know like dodge the move, hit the move.
You're just laning.
Yeah. But in the
Everything
mid-game is when the support, like the map opens up and it's like, okay, where are you supposed to be? Like, where are you supposed to be warding? When do you engage?
You have free reign to do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is...
And that's where you see the difference
what is
in
the thing
support
to
players. And I think that's sort of where he fell down. Bomber Academy.
Yep.
It didn't look great. They dragged the game out.
Yep.
They did drag the game out, and they did manage some of those Baron takes pretty well. Like, took a long time for their first game was against Order. It took a long time for Order to secure that first Baron, I think. But ultimately, they never really looked like they were in charge of the game.
Yeah.
There are a few skirmishes here and there that they won. We saw Bushy go 2-0 up on the Z pretty early.
Yeah. And I think like there were other moments where like you look at Zenk rather on the Ezreal, like he hit a spike where like in the mid game, like he was just actually popping off.
He actually was doing
popping
damage.
Sivir and was like dealing so much damage with the Nami backup. And
I think Blind Chicken played pretty well on the Nami as well,
yeah.
actually. So I think bot lane from Bombers tonight, at least, have looked quite good. And we'll need to see some more from them if they're going to win this game, I think. Also curious to see how the draft goes. We just watched 2 games without bans.
Of no draft, yeah.
Yep. So we get a real draft this time. Seen a lot of Karma first pick as that Kled gets taken away early on.
Cheeky Kled is going to be absolutely removed from the draft phase. Both of these teams coming into this one. Last chance in the tournament. A loss here sends you home, sends you into 8th place. That certainly does not get you into the top 6 to make it towards playoffs. So Guapi's going to get himself another GP ban. We saw Vans have a very successful game last time for Order, and don't want a replication of what they just saw.
The Sivir takeaway. Sivir, I think, very strong in the current meta. GP taken away from Guapi also. So pretty standard stuff across the board so far.
It's definitely a meta evolving. Like coming into this, it's like 9-14. What do we expect? Kled, like expected super high priority. I think Sivir and Ezreal is somewhat surprising.
It also depends on what people are actually playing too. You know, it's one thing to think like, oh, Pyke is so broken on this patch, guys. Like, Pyke's been popping off in all my solo queue games. But then, you know, we just saw one, didn't go so well. So maybe this game, if you're watching that one, you're like, well, are we really worried about that Pyke? Like, maybe we'll just leave it up. Or, whereas, yeah, if Pyke had popped off, you probably see the ban. So a lot of, I feel like strategy at this stage is pretty flexible.
Certainly is. Karma first pick denied with the ban away here. Do we see like a Renekton ban taken off? No, okay. So Seb has now played 2 weeks in a row of Lee Sin, I believe, played in week number 11 as well. Rek'Sai is a big Seb champion. Yep. Renekton, as I expected, does get banned. So options, what do we have?
Nico is up.
Yes.
Seen some Nico.
We haven't seen Aatrox today.
No, we haven't seen Aatrox yet.
Since the nerfs, we have not
I feel like a lot of people are taking his change as a nerf. I read some comments online, as I want to do from time to time, and a lot of people were thinking that it looked like a nerf, and that might just be the, you know, the
like losing Revive is definitely
but I mean, at the same time, like feel like a lot of Aatroxes have won fights before reviving. And certainly, if he has, you know, better stats, like I can definitely see him just being a bruiser that wins. We see bruisers all the time, at least before this patch we did. In any case, we've got the Vlad lock-in. We've seen Vlad banned every other game. We finally have a Vlad.
Yeah. A couple of order games in a row, so they were
Is
getting
he
the
really
target
good?
bans,
Am I
but-
not aware of something? I mean, I knew he was good, but like, it seems like priority is ultra
Yeah,
high.
like I think it's like somewhat
They
unexpected.
changed? I don't think they changed anything.
He didn't
right?
get touched in 914. Before that point, it was just like
Maybe they nerfed other stuff.
different matchups. It's a very aggressive bottom lane taken from Bombers. Zenk going to get his hands on the Lucian. The Nautilus taken from Blind Turkey. We mentioned game number 1. Big Nautilus player. Not going to be the Blind Thresh, but certainly not going the route of the Nami.
Trying to punish the off-roll, perhaps.
And this is a little bit of a throwback. Patch changes to Pyke. Got a little bit of ulti changes, you know what I mean? They wanted to increase, like...
Silas or Pyke?
Sorry, Silas, yes. The time you have to use, or decrease the time you have to use, and just sit on an ulti. Like, does it arrive? Like, does the opportunity arrive before I have to use that one? But the big changes were the reduction of your damage to waves got lessened. So not necessarily just going to be a jungler here. Bushy Boo Boo has played it a bunch.
He does less damage versus camps as well. It was minions and monsters.
Ah, true.
And that's why I thought he would see less jungle.
Yeah, like go back to lanes.
Yeah, because we were talking about it today, that normally when you see the Sejuani, it's just that instant counter Silas lock-in.
And this was it. This is that situation,
what has happened
right?
here as well. But he's, I think it's his passive and his W or something.
Yeah. It's like the
Does
AoE,
less
the AoE
damage.
passive.
Yeah.
Like it just does straight up damage reduction.
Just less damage to monsters and minions now.
Mm-hmm.
So his jungle clear will be a bit slower, but to be fair, like he was clearing pretty quick. And it might be one of those changes where it looks bad on paper, but in practice it's like, well, actually he was probably a bit overtuned.
Yeah, is receiving more jungle bans, so at least Gravitas in this instance, looking at the Silas and being like, that is potentially a Bushy Boo Boo champion, and they're not looking at that as an answer to the Sejuani pick. Syndra, in my eyes, as well, kind of paints the picture that, yes, this will be just the Silas in the mid lane. Aurelia, kind of a standard ban against a Sejuani lock-in sort of composition.
Just got nerfed.
Yeah.
But I feel like we saw Nico. She got nerfed as well. We haven't seen the Jace yet, but they sort of singled out those 3 champions as like, these champions are a problem. They poke too much. They're too easy to survive ganks. But we're seeing them anyway. So it might just be, again, well, they were just already overtuned.
It didn't change any of their roles, right? And all of those champions are just like fine, priority-based, blind top lane champions with not that bad matchups.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the bans right now, GP, Renekton-ish, I guess, are like the only top laners that have been banned away from Bomber side, and they're more than happy to just like give Shaw the cannon blind, because anything you can pick won't be that bad. With a Cassio lock-in, you're expecting the Vladimir matchup on the top side, and that's kind of one of old. Getting another Ahri hover. Got baited earlier, but...
Porky. Silas. No, it's got to be Silas jungle, right? Unless they lock in a jungler. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So it's got to be Silas jungler. Silas jungle. Cannon probably going top.
Yep. Nautilus with the Lucian on the bot side. Cassio just going to be in the mid lane here for Hot Chelly. Has been a big Cassio player for a very long time.
Braum for Juves. I think Braum is a hidden hard character.
Okay.
Like when you see him played, you just think like, well, you just get the passive and you just stun
Stand
them
in the way.
and you just kill them and they die, right? But I feel like the playing of Braum, like when you time your shield, you know,
it's not mechanical, it's like timing based.
Yeah, it's like when you use your Q, are you predicting, are you not? Like getting that auto.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have much attack speed. Like getting that auto can be difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he goes. Double AP, Vlad Cass.
Yeah.
A lot of damage there. Kai'Sa also. Fair bit of AP damage, but not much front line on the side of the Bombers. So I don't think that the damage skew there will be a big deal.
Yeah. Not necessarily. You're not looking at a Kai'Sa that if she gets behind, the game is all but lost.
Yep.
But yeah, like talking back on the Braum as well, I like the matchup into the Nautilus. Nautilus does really one thing, and he does it well. He goes forwards, and then Braum sticks himself between you and the rest of the lineup. Dodge a lot of Lucian's damage. Same thing can be said for the Corki. Sitting there with the Gatling gun, you just face tank all the rockets, stuff like that. I'd be curious to see if Juves took exhaust in this matchup. That is kind of a response to Kennen top lane more often than not. And has been kind of the support answer for a very long time. Actually goes for the Ignite in this one, so prioritizing a little bit more of that laning strength.
Okay, we're seeing a lot of pings go down bot side. Hopefully we get a 5v5 or something. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, Braum level 1 is good, Naut level 1 is good. But it looks like 5-point fan coming out from both of these guys, at least somewhat. Vladimir's going to be sitting behind his Sejuani. Gravitas find themselves access to the dot bush very early.
30 seconds until
Yes. It's a red side thing, right? I feel like red side always gets that bush.
Blue side? You mean like the side that...
Oh, yeah, so like
Yeah.
blue side gets this dot. Sorry,
And
I was
red
talking
side gets
about
the
red
other
side
dot?
gets the
Yeah.
other dot. Must just be the way that the map is...
Like
a
you have
quicker path.
you have bush cover.
Oh, you got another bush to
If
get
you're
in there.
Seb right now, like you can't face check that without something to fall back to, whereas on the other side of the map, like Lucian can.
Yeah, but like the distance just looks bigger.
Yeah. That's true.
Not much happening. Sejuani walking to her red buff, probably going to have a standard start here. Silas hovering those wraiths, but I expect him to move over to the red.
Looks like he's just going to start them solo. No leash for the Silas.
Okay. Well, I imagine. I mean, he's got plenty of AoE.
Yeah.
He's got the Hunter's, not the Hunter's Machete. I can't believe I don't know what
Talisman?
it's called. Hunter's Talisman, yeah.
The other one?
I've said that word, but like, I've said that word so many times. I always differentiate. Anyway, he would clear it easy enough.
Yeah.
Tons of AoE.
It's full HP.
Yeah.
Hasn't popped a potion.
Yeah.
Hasn't used Smite.
Nope.
Absolutely chilling. Does mean that the bottom side of the map for Bombers gets to start in lane first, but didn't actually get a push down there very early. I'm unsure of the timing of their River Ward, potentially looking for something fairly late to dissuade any sort of blue take. You can see right now Seb is pathing from Raptors upwards towards the top side of the map.
Just carding the red by the look of it. Looking for a full clear. Both junglers doing the same thing. Nobody really in a rush to get onto the map. Silas doesn't have the best ganks in the early levels.
Yeah, not really many gankable lanes either.
True.
Bot lane is kind of it.
True. I mean, yeah, no, you're right. I was going to say, Vlad is doable, depending on how you work around the pool, especially early. Kennen, you know, has range CC, but still going to be tough, especially when the Kennen is shoving in. So, smart pathing out of both junglers, I think. Sedge always just looking for that level 6. Silas can be a bit more flexible. He does have options, but ultimately wants, I think, level 5. Level 5, level 6 when he looks strong.
Also going to be the Klepto picked up for the Kennen top matchup, so sure, definitely feeling very comfortable up there. Goes for the classic Kennen Doran's Blade start, despite probably building into much more AP as the game progresses, but...
Guapi must be trading a fair bit because he's got a bunch of stacks already.
Which is surprising given that he has been pushed in, right? Because it gets to a certain point where you kind of, both laners look at the lane and decide like, yes, that is going to push in. And you both like accept the fate, right? Like you don't start hitting minions from the other side of the coin for like the aggressor. You're like, I want this to push in potentially like fairly slowly so I get to punish and like have as much time. Maybe you're going to want to get your ward down. That is going to be a heal popped very early for Gravitas Academy. Blind Turkey tanks the W on the way out, but a very nice trade here for the Bombers bot side.
Yep. Well, the earlier you use it, the earlier you get it back. You might as well burn it ASAP.
Seb is lying in wait as well. Potions popped as of the heals, so HP bar is actually fairly high here from Gravitas. Dive potential is low. Would be a
it's just
toughie.
scary.
Yeah.
You know? It's they've already burned the heal, they've already burned the pots. There's no surprise healing that's going to come out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just one of those ones. You know, you look at Braum and you're like, we're going to have to get around him. You have to work around the door. And it's not like we have a ton of damage early on.
Yeah.
So
Probably would be trading 1 for 1. Not a situation you want to opt into, so goes down. Seb choosing not to take away the golems. Doesn't waste any sort of time, but now has looked at kind of a couple of lanes right now, whereas Why Not has just been hard farming the jungle matchup. You can see Scuttle Crab's traded 1 apiece across the board.
oh, he tags him with another.
Yeah.
2 Qs in a row.
Blind
Seb
Turkey looking for a hook.
spending a lot more time trying to make something happen as opposed to actually committing to something.
Ooh.
He finds Why Not, though.
Yeah, uses the W to close a bit of that distance, so still had the chain to dash over the wall if he wanted to hard commit. Given the state of the lanes, though, Gravitas would have had first priority. Very hard to continue that one. Why Not is able to secure the majority of his Raptors, so
And
good
that is
things for Sejuani.
that's actually a big problem for Seb.
Ooh,
Oh, that was pretty cool.
yeah. With the EW combo.
But that's a big problem for Seb, not getting that camp.
Yeah.
Because he spent a ton of time just walking around the river, walking around the jungle, trying to find Why Not. But in the end, despite getting that little chunk on him, wasn't able to secure the Wraith camp. Lost a ton of time. Like, Why Not was just doing his golems the whole time that Seb was running up and down. And essentially, Why Not has just cleared bot to top, may as well have been uninterrupted. You know what I mean? He did golems, then he did wraiths, then he did wolves. Now working on, well, there's nothing up.
Yeah, like spawn
But,
number 2.
yeah,
Right, like everything's going to come
Pretty
back
much
up.
just cleared bot to top,
Yep.
despite being harassed. Whereas Seb has had to walk from wraiths back to his wraiths. Is getting the crab here though for his trouble. So
Spawn is nice on the top side. Cannon
fortunate.
pushing in, uses the smite to secure that one. And
I like this gang from Why Not though. He's just coned over into the dragon.
Ooh.
I think he's just been spotted though because he queued through the drag to avoid getting hit too much. Doesn't have Q for this gank either.
It
So
doesn't look like
they have to know.
Yeah, Blind Turkey is standing fairly far back. Of course, can hook to the wall if he spots any danger. So, yep,
Just
had an
unfortunate
idea.
there. Just got in the range of that dot bush ward. Spoiled the surprise. And Bob was just good to continue laning.
I think potentially it was the bottom lane giving that away. Because there wasn't a ping onto, like, the pink ward. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't dash over the dragon pit, get hit by the dragon, and then, like, oh, we see her. And then everybody backs away.
Yeah,
It was like Juves just walking up, looking for a play. Retribution, like, heal down, minus a summoner, stepping up 2 versus 2, and it's like, oh.
But as soon as I am like 90% sure that with the direction he queued, he got spotted by the ward from the dragon pit. And so it's a split second, and sometimes teams do miss it. If you're not looking at that specific spot, even if he shows up for a split second, sometimes you miss it. But, you know, throughout this lane, we've seen trading from bombers. And then I guess the one time Juves walks up, Blind Turkey's just like, nah.
I don't like that.
Me go this way.
I don't like that at all. But yeah, this is a much slower early game than we've had in any of the previous 3 we've seen today. Both of these teams had explosive stuff happen in both of their previous games. So surprising coming into this one.
I think these are
facing off
both
against each other.
just really slow junglers, though.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, that is...
We've seen a lot of Lee Sin, a lot of Jarvan. We have seen some Sejuani, but really it's been, you know, the Lee Sins and the Jarvans who have been pushing the pace.
Yeah, it was like a Sedge Yasuo. And it's
Yeah.
like
Whereas this time we have Sedge, Silas. I'm not a huge expert on Silas, but I don't think he's one of those early game, like, pressure junglers. Much more about the tempo in the mid game. Well, it's not the mid game, but that mid jungle stage where it's like you're around 6 and now you start pushing the envelope a bit. I think that's resulted in a much slower game.
Yeah, this is pink ward in the river from Bomber's bottom side of the map means that Seb has found unspotted access to the dragon. Also gets himself a crab spawn, which will feel nice in a moment. That ward in the dot bush spots him out now, but bottom lane rotation. Very easy cleanup, and this is going to be a free ocean dragon. If the gank top fails, you can see multiple pings onto the Sejuani top side, so Shaw should have a good idea of what is going on up there.
He's trying anyway. But, I mean, this is one of those ones that either goes really well or really poorly. Because Vlad ult into, like, pool E, like just like the full Vlad combo, will do a ton of damage to Kennen. And even if the Sedge ult misses, the damage still should be there to kill him. However, Shaw can easily trade it back.
Yeah.
Like, if he gets lucky... actually, he's not lucky anymore, right? But if he gets good Kennen ult, good stun, uses his E to dodge a lot of the damage. Although they removed some resists, right, from his E?
He lost attack speed.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he lost resists.
They changed his E.
This is going to be
Hiding
Shaw
towards
actually
the...
potentially face checking the Sejuani. Wanted to get to the fight in mid lane, but Was just a flash out from the Casio, got himself to safety, and Shaw finds a Sejuani, and he's like, nope. Back to top lane.
That was actually almost genius. Like, if you can burn
Mid lane
the flat
gets-
ult by
Oh,
leaving,
okay.
you know what I mean? Like, you sort of walk in that direction. Hang on.
Ooh, okay, Bushy gets stunned up very quickly by the Sejuani. Double summon a burn, and Seb is in the area, but low mana.
Nice cleanse.
Yeah, gets himself to safety.
No TP, though, so Hot Shelly with the blue buff. Probably going to be able to shove this wave in and then immediately return to the map, so good position for him to be in.
What I thought you were going to say is it was genius by Hot Chelly to, like, force a fight mid lane so that the top laner face checks your jungler who's looking for a top dive. And I was like, sure.
Is it? No, I just
Yeah.
meant, like, you sort of fake that all in. Like, because he was kiting towards Sejuani, which
Yeah,
is just like, I mean, he doesn't know exactly where she is, but he has
Yeah.
the feeling that she's there.
No, she's like doing golems and is like around at
Yeah,
some stage.
but like kites towards, hang on.
Ooh, okay, straight face check into the bush. Shield dissuades a bunch of that damage, but Hook is going to connect. Ultimate is not available from Blind Turkey, but Zenk wants the fight anyway. The double collapse coming down the river. Can they continue the dive for this one?
Package is online.
On the flank. Seb. He's going to get spotted out by that ward, but now two members. The TP is coming in very quickly from the Casio. Blind Turkey locks one down. It may just cost him his life. Hot Jelly finally lands. Petrifying Gaze. Takes down one. Why not on the flank is going to find the jungler as well. So actually a 2-for-2 trade at the end of that one, and Gravitas holds strong.
Yeah, I mean, huge TP coming out of Hot Chili. I spoke about it a little bit, expecting him to go back to the lane, but saves that TP to counter the package and actually got massive in the context of this game. I mean, this has been a super slow game. We finally saw some proactivity out of the Bombers, and it looked like a pretty successful dive up until that TP lands, and Hot Chili just picks up two quick ones on the back end, and it's going to shove this mid wave in, maybe?
After Pink Ward.
Maybe
Casio,
not at all.
certainly not a champion you want to be giving kills over. This is...
Cheeky.
Oh,
Very cheeky.
do have a hard flank. They're in enemy territory right now.
No
Granted,
cleanse.
no cleanse available, as you mentioned. Package. Valkyrie gets himself a little bit of distance, but now the tides have turned. Blind Turkey is the target. Why not takes
Silas is
down
here.
the Corki at the end of the day as well, Seb? He just Kaiser rolled it to get himself in range. Retribution now arrives at the fight. The bottom lane has finally arrived here from Bombers. Cannon is now on the flank. This is a fight on multiple fronts. Shaw gets himself flashes into the wall, into the ground. It takes down Jews, but that is not enough. A complete ace at 12 minutes here for Gravitas Academy.
Yeah, and Hot Chili on this Cassiopeia just absolutely pops off in that team fight. Weaving Qs and Es as fast as he can. Nice little positioning. We talked about it.
Yeah, that was cheeky.
Yeah, it was cheeky. Manages to pick up Bushy with no cleanse. Bushy falls. And yeah, Bombers, again, not willing to let their teammates die in vain, but ultimately each pays the cost with their own life.
Yeah, because that was like a multi-layered heads-up play. Like, you were hesitating because it's like, oh, is he going to push in mid lane? Why isn't he pushing in mid lane? He's hitting a ward and then fakes going towards mid, walks back into the enemy jungle and just starts off this random fight in the river. Blind Turkey and Bushy Boo Boo just face-check a Casio who didn't even have ulti, but because they were just such an awkward position, stuck in the river with a snake between them and their base, there was nowhere to go. The team fight ensues, and Gravitas, they just come up with absolutely everything.
Yeah, I mean, the scary thing there, I think, was that like Blind Turkey was clearing vision with Bushy. It wasn't just like a Corki walking around on its own. It's like you could obviously see that there was two people there.
The right boxes have been ticked.
They were committing to like, okay, this is going to be a 2v2, but yeah, the right person gets hit by the CC and make quick work of the Corki.
Yeah.
Not pretty useless on his own.
Because this bottom lane has been trending fairly heavily in the direction of Bombers. You can see only a single plating was left on that bottom lane turret. Retribution and Juves have been absolutely copying it on the bottom side of the map, but getting that kill back gave them some priority. Gets themselves an Ocean Dragon as well. No flashes available on anyone in the bottom side, so making a gank hit is more difficult, but Blind Turkey has the Hex Flash, and Hex Flash into Nort ulti is an unmissable combo. They're actually looking for something. Looks like the hook connected, and the chain is going to as well. Juves, unfortunately, throws the door in the wrong direction, and that's just a free kill on the bot side of the map for Bombers.
Yep. Mobies, no flash. door wrong way.
That's a bad combo.
That's a tanky support. That's not so tanky. Trading for the Herald. Not the worst trade in the world, depending on the usage of the Herald, but I'm definitely choosing kill in a tower every time.
Yeah, first brick. Guaranteed gold there, and of course Herald loses a bunch of value post 14 minutes. This is Bombers actually looking for a potential contest there, but maybe a little bit too late. And
is that a spectator bug, or is he just going to leave it?
no, I don't think he has it. As realized that it's still on the map. Multiple pings go down. He's able to collect it. Hot
Shelly's here though.
It's a big ulti onto the Corki. Shaw is going to lock him down. Casio surely will fall, but finds himself a trade. 2-for-1 shut down onto the Casio.
Blind Turkey barely lives. Ultimately survives the dot. That is a huge shutdown. 5-0. Also going to have the opportunity here to potentially poke this mid tower a little bit. Why not just back and forth on whether he wanted to actually take that Herald or not, and ultimately decides that he wants it. Pays for it with both his and his mid laner's life.
Looked to be almost a disastrous situation.
Guapi forced to hold mid lane, but I'm sure he won't mind getting the extra CS.
Sure, does it connect? Ulti's got to be
Zoning
dodged out
ult.
of very nicely. Hex Flash dodges out of the queue.
Zoning Q.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Shaw makes it back to tower. Had no flash, but survives.
Did you say zoning ult, zoning Q?
I may have.
You got to do it to him.
You got to, right?
You just got to.
You got to. You can't not. Come on.
Oh, okay, we'll lose his turrets. The pressure's still effective if the kill does not connect. Silver linings.
Zoned him out of tower range.
All the way back to base. That's a big zone of... That's a big sphere of influence.
And, I mean, despite the last couple of minutes seemingly going the Bombers' way, Gravitas with the tower, 200 gold up.
Yeah,
Scaling
very
pretty
big
even.
Casio. 2 items. Doesn't have to waste gold on any stupid boots or anything, so...
True. I will
it's kind of
say,
even further ahead than it does seem on the scoreboard.
the one thing I am waiting for is the impact of Guapi.
Yes.
When this Vladimir gets in his first skirmish, his first team fight, he has just been sitting in the side lane,
Yeah.
not worrying about TPing to any team fights, just racking up that CS. He's almost on the clock. Got his proto belt finished. He's got the Oblivion Orb. He's got to be close to Morello's. I mean, he's got an Oblivion Orb fiendish. The CDR, but I don't know what. I don't think that makes an item.
Spellbinder?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it?
Hold on. Ulti's going to connect onto Blind Turk. He does have flash, but very little
Oh,
HP.
Vlad.
Shelly doing so much work
Yep.
at the turret. Guapi into the back lane, cleans up one. Flank there from Shaw, gets a huge slicing maelstrom over multiple members and cleans up the back end of the team fight. Bushy looking to take down the Snake Lady. Yes, they lose their turret, but they win a huge team fight in the mid lane.
Shaw with his best Smeb cosplay just flies in the side with that cannon ult and absolutely decimates the Gravitas lineup. Large Rod had the stopwatch, didn't use it, has the proto belt as well. Going to pick himself up another wave here, potentially pressure this mid tower. Seb just making his way through the jungle,
Yeah.
getting that vision control while he can, and 1k gold lead to the Bombers now. This tower is pretty healthy, but no one really here to defend it, and see whether
Casio
they can take it before Hot Shelly gets there.
slowly walking. I think he's going to be enough to dissuade them. And I think team fights are going to continue in this trajectory, where it's really like you take a look at the compositions, Cass ult, Cannon ult, Vlad ult, and probably Silas as well, just by nature of he can steal one of the other two.
Yep.
It's like these 4 abilities are really just going to be like key markers of who wins the fight. Like if Cannon gets a flank, that is enormous. Exactly the same thing can be said for the Vladimir. Casio lands a multi-man petrifying gaze, then could be disastrous. And that fight looked like an absolute routing from Gravitas, but a single member able to turn it around, so... Gonna be clutch button usage here from both of these teams, and team fights turning on a dime depending on who gets the engage they need.
Yeah, I said a little earlier that I thought scaling was pretty even between these two teams, but really it's about it's sort of like player skill scaling.
Yeah, it's
you know?
scaling is a conversation when there's like a huge discrepancy, but when it's close, it's just mostly like down to execution.
Who's gonna hit? Ooh, Air Drake.
Sick.
Heck yeah. Another Air Drake on the way.
Yeah, bro.
Let's get it done.
Deuces.
Oh, you guys want to get some air drakes today?
Yeah, man.
Yep.
It's kind of like those other drakes, but kind of bad.
You got any others? Nah. All right.
Oh, okay.
Well, hang on a minute.
That's not an air drake.
This is some big brain shot calling. Although Seb,
Sweeps out a pink ward.
I mean, he's got no reason to check it, but
Oh,
he does
okay.
anyway. Yeah.
Does his
Nice
diligence.
It's one of those ones where you really need Cass to have blue. I mean, she
Or
wasn't
Leandries.
yet, but she wasn't yet, but just that extra CDR and being able to E without fear,
Yeah.
it does make a difference.
It was also just the opportunity cost. They didn't really lose much tangible for that little look at the Baron pit. Like bot
Yeah.
lane was so far away from the turret. You can argue some tower damage mid and top that Corki is now whacking away, but that was a very good time to fish for a free Baron, and that is realistically all it was. As soon as anybody showed, they were like, all right, peace, we outie.
Yep.
And now mid lane turret is under
Hang
fire.
on.
That's going to be an ulti landing once again. It's a blind turkey. Base tanking that one for Zenk, puts himself in harm's
Okay.
way, and
I don't
able to stop
mind
the
it.
engage from Why Not. Yeah, very smart positioning there for the Nautilus.
I don't mind it at all. Using Sedge ult to maintain your tier 1 tower. Tier 1 tower, very useful, especially in this position where you're sort of jockeying for mid lane priority, but
Yeah.
you have people in the side lane, and it sort of allows you to
Ooh.
cheat that numbers disadvantage.
Okay,
Hang on.
top lane. Corki has died. I can say that for certain.
Sure.
Cassio walked up the river, found himself a Corki, and he killed him.
He did.
Ventured too far into the outback.
Hex Drinker, not enough.
Stunned by a
Lappy
snake.
has the TP, and there is... Oh, never mind, just died. I say there is a
Okay.
flank ward, but there isn't.
Baron approaching 7,000 bombers.
Yeah, they
do
do
they
this
want to
fast.
contest this one? Sejuani ulti still in the back pocket of the Silas. Blind Turkey. Multi-man knockup as the TP is going to come. Remember, 4 versus 5. Nautilus dying makes it a 3 versus 5. Flash
Baron
not
has
available
reset.
for the Vladimir, but going to start it up. Round number 2. Bushy will spawn. He may have package, so can close the distance fairly quickly. That's
Oh,
the
hang
Blood
on.
ulti into the back line. Shaw does his best to buy some time. Opens up space for Zenk, who flashes forwards. Looking for this play. Guapi is going to fall. Seb approaching the same fate. Glacial is going to lock him down. And Gravitas, at the end of the day, start up
He
the
has a
Baron, find
package.
themselves another team fight victory. Bushy against the world right now. 1 member versus blinking health bars.
If
Cassio.
anything hits, he will commit to this package, I think. But fortunately, the big one and the Phos Bomb both going wide. Does dissuade Gravitas from doing the Baron, however, so all's well that ends well for B52 Bushy Boo Boo.
Is that what they always say?
Yep, all the time.
Yep.
In the hangar,
Just before they're taking flight.
just before they take flight.
Yep. But yeah, Baron look in cost them a Vladimir TP, which is honestly fairly impactful. Guapi has had a lot of the side lane priority this game. Package going to get used
Yep.
for no purpose, but won't have the ability to just kind of TP into the back lines and force a team fight. Now has the flash. Summoners were desynced, which certainly doesn't feel great as a side laner.
The key thing I think about that, though, is that Shaw's is about to come up.
Yeah.
And we've seen what this Cannon ult can do with a good flank.
Yeah.
And the fact that Guapi no longer has a TP means they have to do things like this, where they just 5-man force on the Baron and
Yeah.
try to bait the TP out. But Shaw, I mean, he walked
There it
halfway
is.
and then he TP'd. And as soon as the TP comes down, Gravitas peel off. So
Yep.
some pretty good shot calling there, I think.
Yeah, that's a heads-up play there. Get themselves the teleport. Ooh. Splits
Barely
the
misses.
post. That's a
Not
goal
sure
in
you
every
want to
other
hit it onto
esport.
Vlad anyway.
But, yeah. Not going to
Silas
quite
with Vlad
land.
ult looks pretty good.
Round number 2 is going to land. Braum hasn't procced the Aftershock and doesn't actually have any access. Shaw pops the ulti. Vladimir on the back lines dealing so much damage. 1 member already gone. Zenk gets flash popped by Guapi, and Gravitas just straight committing to this one. Multi-member pick off. The bottom lane of Bombers is gone and pings immediately onto the Baron.
Yeah, both top laners there were sort of holding up the back lines of each respective team. Shaw with his cannon ult was soaking up a lot of attention. Guapi also, but Vladimir at this stage of the game, just if you have access to the back line, he's so hard to kill, but also just does so much insane damage.
Yeah, 3
and
items
unfortunately is the difference.
Yeah. Go on the Morellos, of course, as well. We were talking about the Spellbinder, but yeah, as you mentioned, builds out of the right thing. And against a Lucian as an AD carry, it's probably not the biggest little benefit, but all the little things do add up, right? If you land anything, then all of a sudden Bork just becomes a useless item. It's not like he can sustain through anything. And flat damage at this point is probably just enough, tracking onwards. Oh, sick.
Consolation prize there for
yes.
the Bombers. Probably the worst consolation prize.
Yeah. Is it a prize?
Just like when you get a
Is it a
salad
slap
in
in
your
the
goodie
face?
bag at a birthday.
Has that ever happened to you?
No, but I
Okay,
imagine
good.
it sucks.
Yeah. On good authority. That's a Kennan looking for a flank. Juves has found him, though.
No flash.
No ulti
Chelly,
either.
though.
A couple of seconds off the cooldown, so Shaw falls down. Re-engage onto the mid laner. Is going to get knocked up at the end of the day, but cost Nautilus his life. 2 members taken. Didn't even have to burn the Vladimir ulti, so Gravitas walk up mid lane, find the picks, find themselves with a 5 Baron buff, and Juves is feeling.
Letting him know.
Yeah.
Letting him know what he's all about, and that is getting carried.
Inhib.
It's okay for me to say,
Turret
because he's my friend.
getting taken down. Inhib. Gonna suffer the same fate very soon, you would expect, but that's a big burst of damage. Hot Chelly actually looking aggressive onto this one. Vladimir's showing in the bot side, so they know no threat of a flank. Maybe we can call a Vlad flank a blank.
Blank.
A blank.
He got blanked.
Yeah. That's
Cannon
quick.
clank.
Clank.
That sounds better.
Yeah, he just ratchet and clanked the
just
back
clanked
line.
him.
Yeah.
There you go. New LoL vernacular, guys.
Yeah.
Get it cracking in solo queue from now on.
Flanked. Clanked.
Clanked.
I
Blanked.
also, I will
What other
say,
champs are there?
I invented the floaty.
The floaty.
Yeah, when you play Malzahar support back in the day before it was just nerfed into the ground. It's like, what are we doing, guys? We're walking up mid, I'm going to floaty.
Flash ult.
Yeah.
That sounds so ugly.
No, I think it's a good time.
Floaty.
Yeah, floaty. I'm going to float.
Horrible.
No,
It's almost harder to say than flash ult.
that is efficient communication.
I'm just going to flash. You could just say that. You don't have to say your ult. No
You
one's
could
going to
be like-
assume you're going to flash W on Malzahar.
I'm going to go.
Me go. Us mid, me go.
Yep.
Okay, Bryce.
Well, us top me go is the call from Gravitas right now. Like
Yep.
the itemization from the Braum, got himself a locket to deal with the AoE damage coming out of the cannon. Has been the only thing to turn around any sort of team fight, and they have the remnants of a Baron still left available on a couple of these members. Will be falling off in the near future. Probably not many waves to play with, but
Yeah, I feel like
whilst it's up,
Seb has the opportunity to be impactful. He stole Vlad ult in the last team fight, and I thought that was a really good idea. He just tried to ult the Banshees,
That's a sad time.
and I don't think it did anything.
Yeah.
So I think he's just Shrek'd.
Yeah.
I think
That
he just
sucks.
needs to be owned for the next minute or
Yep.
so. Ult's pretty short cooldown, but
Dude, still twerking it. That's going to be a face check
cleanse though.
from the Corki. Hot Chelly finds himself
Living.
the package use. Oh, blind tech. He tries to go through the gates, but he's actually going to
Chelly's
fall
still
down
alive.
incredibly low, but health bar doesn't tick 0. Sure does work in the backside. That's going to be the commit there from Retribution. This may be the team fight Gravitas needed. Once again,
Bushy
looking
though.
for the Cassio, and
Can he
I know
hold?
going to take her down. Corki, the one man standing between Gravitas and the Nexus. Retribution wants it. Stopwatch. Can the rocket? Fast bomb is going to be
the
enough. He
double.
gets a double
Bushy
kill.
gets a reset.
Oh, big one. Not quite up and available. Guapi is certainly scary. That's a Vladimir with flash in a couple of seconds. Can Bushy hold on? TP is
Hot
still
Chelly
there
does
from
have
the
the TP
Cassio,
though, yeah.
So going to be a 2 versus
Needs
1
to
hold
heal.
underneath the Nexus. Super Creeps hitting on the turrets first. Turret is going to fall down. Guapi looking to zone him out. He's going to connect. Bushy forced back to the fountain. Blind Turkey now going to spawn.
Both
Hot
turrets
Chelly
down.
sitting between both turrets. One carry
scary,
left.
though.
Blind Turkey gets hit with the Q. That's so much
Zeki's
damage
alive.
for the Cassio. Respawns are coming through. Cassio ulti lands. That's a big backline demolishing. So many respawns coming
Chelly.
out, but Hot Chelly is styling on everyone. That's going to be a quadra kill.
Penta.
That's going to be a pentakill to finish off the game. And such a huge performance for Hot Chelly on the
Holy
Cassio.
moly.
That
Hot
is
Chelly
nuts.
just says, hold my beer. I'm going in.
Juves thinks he can stand in the lanes and it's his taunt that matters.
No.
But the pentakill back-to-back team fights,
That's
right?
a statement.
That's 4
That's
kills.
an absolute statement.
Get to the Nexus. 5 kills underneath the Nexus to close that one
What
out.
score did he end with?
I don't know.
That's got to be a lot of,
A lot of kills. Whatever he had, +5. That's disgusting.
That's insane. Just
That
saying, like,
was-
just Guapi, just shove it in. I'm going to TP back. I'm going to kill them all, okay?
Yeah.
Guapi's like, I don't know if we could do this, man. Like, they're about to respawn.
Yeah.
Like, Lucian's coming back. Like, I don't know if... And he's like, bruz, just shove the wave. Let me do it. And he does it.
And he gets it. He gets
Just
5
old
kills.
Zank in his face.
Yep.
Zank comes out of the base and he's like, it's my time to shine.
Dashing.
It's frozen.
It's frozen.
Frozen on the spot.
Yeah, that is
Unlucky.
That is an unfortunate one. And with that, we do have to say goodbye to the Bombers, right? That is 2 losses on the day here, so they
Yes,
will be
they're
7th
out.
seed coming out of this one. Yeah, actually, a little bit of... Oh, sorry,
They're
8th
seventh? They're
seed.
not there- yeah, I was gonna say they finished
8th
last,
seed.
right?
So double loss, lose first game, lose losers bracket. So yes, last place in the tiebreakers, but that does mean the Gravitas progress to the next round. We'll be facing off against the Chiefs. So we've cemented 5th. We've cemented 8th. Can't say numbers, but that's fine.
5th and 8th have been decided. We now have the last deciding game, which is between 6th and 7th.
Yep. With a TH.
6th goes through to Gauntlet.
Yes, 1 spot left remaining.
Important game.
Yeah, Gravitas.
Very important game.
Looking the goods in game number 2. Chiefs are going to be there waiting, but that will be 5 minutes away. So last game of the night, last game of Week 12 tiebreakers here for the OCS.
See you then.
See you in a couple of minutes.